Hello, dear friends. Welcome to this program, Our Moments with God, our moments with the Word of God, our moments with the love, mercy, and compassion of God, our moments also with the holy ones of God. We find also the holy ones in the Old Testament, not just the saints in the modern times. Like today, we will see how God spoke to Moses and spoke something very important. But all those things can make sense only when we also turn our attention to our inner self and see there how our progress with keeping the commandments of God, particularly the commandments that He gave to Moses, and also how the apostles followed those commandments. And today we celebrate also the feast of St. James the Apostle. And I also invite you to be co-missionaries with me by just sharing the videos with your friends, families, groups, and ask them to also subscribe so that we can reach more people through these efforts. Thank you. As I said in the beginning, today is the feast of St. James the Apostle, one of the two sons of Zebedee. His brother was John, and James is also one of those apostles who was present on the high mountain when Jesus was transfigured, and he is one of the first apostles to be martyred. But before that, we have a very important first reading, which I suppose was also strictly followed by James and the other apostles of Jesus Christ. And that is, if you remember yesterday in the first reading, the Lord had asked Moses to gather the people outside, and with the sounds of trumpet, and the hill was full of smoke and clouds. Remember that? That was yesterday's reading. This was all in preparation for something that God was going to tell them very important. And what was that? God was going to tell Moses to tell his people the 10 commandments. Yes, the 10 commandments that we learned as children in our catechism classes. One of the first things that we were all taught in our catechism classes were the 10 commandments in the Bible and the 6 commandments of the church. Maybe some of us have forgotten them because we learned them by heart at that time. Maybe, I'm just saying maybe, some of them have forgotten, or maybe we have forgotten the order in which they were given. But these were commandments that were very important that God wanted them to give. God had asked Moses to go to Mount Sinai. You see there at a distance there is a whole range of mountains. They are not Mount Sinai certainly, but I'm just taking it as a symbol of Mount Sinai or Sinai, and where the clouds and the smoke and all that gathered, and then God spoke to Moses in these words. This is a shorter form, of course the reading is a little longer, but the 10 commandments, and I would just like to place before us these 10 commandments, very important for us to revise or to review or to remember, and to see also whether we are failing in some of them. The first 3 sets of commandments are about God. Then the last 7 commandments are about our relationship with our neighbor or with one another. What are the 10 commandments? The first is, I am the Lord your God. You shall not worship any other God. And the second commandment is, you shall not take God's name in vain. The third commandment is, remember to keep the Lord's day. Fourth commandment is, honor your father and your mother. The fifth commandment is, you shall not kill. The sixth is, you shall not commit adultery. The seventh is, you shall not steal. Eighth is, you shall not bear false witnesses. Ninth is, you shall not covet your neighbor's wife. And the 10th is, you shall not covet your neighbor's goods. Sometimes people wonder if the commandments in the Old Testament belong to Old Testament and have nothing to do with the New Testament. Of course they have to do. Remember in the Gospel of Matthew chapter 22, people came and asked Jesus, what are the 2 most important commandments? And just as I said earlier, the first 3 commandments of these 10 commandments deal with God, our relationship with God, and the other 7 commandments deal with our relationship with one another in society, etc. And this is what Jesus said. He said the two important most commandments are, the first one is love your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. That is what the first 3 commandments say. And the second commandment Jesus said, which is like the first, love your neighbor as yourself, which is what is contained in this second set of the 10 commandments. The last 7 commandments are dealing with the neighbor. So Jesus actually summarized the 10 commandments in just 2 most important commandments. Maybe we need to remember those commandments more than all, rather than remembering all in detail. But let us not forget that if James, the apostle whose feast day we celebrate today, became important and became an apostle because he, like his own Lord and Master, was strictly following these commandments. And I'm sure if we follow these commandments, the Lord will also take us to himself. And if you like, you may please subscribe to this channel. Thank you.